Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how I personally like to create some spaceship style sci-fi ambiences. So there's a million ways to go about this. You can use synthesizers, you can use all sorts of plugins. This is just one of those million different ways, and I usually like to do this as a layer underneath all sorts of other effects that I have going on to create a spacey, spaceship, dark sort of ambience in the background. So what I'm actually going to do instead of using a synthesizer is I'm actually going to use a solo cello sound. So I'm using East West Quantum Leap's Hollywood Solo Cello here in the Play system, and you can use any sort of sustained instrument you want if you want to follow along. So it can be a flute, it could be a tuba, it could probably even be a synthesizer. This could work on really any sustained sort of sound. So here's the sound we have right now. So just a simple solo cello. So any sustained instrument will work if you want to follow along. So next up, what I like to do is EQ the sound pretty aggressively. So what I like to do is cut out the lows and highs and find one frequency spectrum that I like that I want to accentuate. In this case, it's around this 320 hertz range. So I'm going to play around with this, and you're going to hear what this sounds like with this EQ on. So you can hear it's very muffled, it's very focused on this frequency range. Of course, we could add highs in if we want it to sound more high-end and shimmery, and we can add lows back in if we want more bassiness to it. Right now, this is good for my purposes. This is what I want. So next up, I of course add reverb. I always like to say that reverb is just the fairy dust of the audio world. If you just throw more on, everything's great. Not really, but that's kind of how it goes with sound design. So I have reverb here. I use EOS, whatever, however you pronounce it, by Audio Damage. And this has a nice, dark, reverberant sound. So it just adds some nice color and some nice character to it. Lastly, what I like to do to kind of get that sort of spaceshipy sound all lies within a flanger. And you can use any flanger you want. It doesn't have to be this Logic default one, but I rather like this one. So what I like to do is take this flanger and turn the mix up to 100%, so we're hearing only the flange sound. And then I play around with this rate knob. So you're going to hear what this does. I'm going to turn this all the way down, and then I'm going to gradually turn the rate up so you hear what it's doing and how it's kind of ambient spaceshipifying our cello sound. So when it's turned all the way up, it has that kind of bubbly sci-fi sort of sound. And what I'm going to do is play really low on the keyboard, on the lower end of the cello, so you hear what that sounds like with all these effects on. I can also turn the intensity up and down to change the character of the sound. So that determines how high the highs are and how low the lows are, and that kind of wobbly sort of sound that we're getting. Again, I like to use this as kind of a pulsing sort of layer underneath other stuff that I have going on. So I might have like a low rumble going on and pulses like that occurring in the background, just to add a little character to whatever spaceship-y sort of thing that I'm using this for. And of course, I can play with the feedback as well. To once again affect the color of this sound. So this is one quick way that I like to go about creating a sci-fi spaceshipy sort of ambience really, really quickly and really quite easily. Of course, you can play around with this, you can add distortion, you can change the EQ, you can change the instrument, go about this however you want. This is just a good starting point for you. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and of course, sign up for my newsletter. That's where I share all of my best stuff for those of you who want to break in to the game industry and actually get paid for your work while you're working in it. So sign up for the newsletter, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.